It was a time of uncertainty, fear, and survival. The new state of Israel had barely been established in 1948, and already it faced existential threats from all sides. Arab nations sought to obliterate the fledgling state, while former Nazis and their sympathizers still roamed free in Europe. In this crucible of tension and turmoil, a new force was born, an elite agency that would operate in the shadows, ensuring Israel's survival through intelligence, subterfuge, and daring operations. The survival of our people depends not just on our military might, but on our ability to foresee and neutralize threats before they strike. And so Mossad was formed with one singular mission: protect Israel by any means necessary. We were driven by the haunting memory of a world that had abandoned us, and by the new hope for a nation that would fight to exist. These agents were to be Israel's first line of defense, operating beyond the borders, often without official recognition, and sometimes in territories where they were unwelcome. In 1949, David Ben-Gurion, Israel's founding prime minister, recognized that the survival of the Jewish state required more than just military strength. Intelligence, the ability to anticipate attacks and neutralize threats before they materialized, was paramount. So in a small office in Tel Aviv, Mossad was formed, with one singular mission: protect Israel by any means necessary. Many of Mossad's first recruits were Holocaust survivors, men and women with a deep sense of purpose. They were driven by the haunting memory of a world that had abandoned them, and by the new hope for a nation that would fight to exist. These agents were to be Israel's first line of defense, operating beyond the borders, often without official recognition, and sometimes in territories where they were unwelcome. "They are the ones who live in the shadows," writes Gordon Thomas in Gideon's Spies, "the men and women who risk their lives operating in enemy countries where the slightest mistake could mean death." This would become the ethos of Mossad: invisible protectors, forever fighting on behalf of Israel. While Mossad's origins were forged in the crucible of survival, the agency soon turned its attention to one of its greatest and most enduring adversaries: Iran. With Iran's nuclear ambitions rising, Mossad would be called upon to engage in one of the most critical and covert operations in its history. The battle was no longer fought on conventional battlefields, but in secret laboratories and hidden facilities deep within Iran. For decades, Iran has been relentlessly pursuing nuclear power, but behind the scenes, an invisible war has been waged to sabotage its efforts. Mossad, Israel's formidable intelligence agency, has been at the center of this secret war, infiltrating deep into Iran, disrupting nuclear facilities and eliminating key figures in Iran's nuclear program. One of Mossad's most infamous operations took place in November 2011, when an explosion rocked a secret missile base near Tehran. The blast killed 17 Revolutionary Guards, including General Hassan Tehrani Moghadam, the father of Iran's missile program. While officially unacknowledged, foreign sources including Mossad The Greatest Missions attribute the operation to Mossad, targeting a solid-fuel rocket engine that could have threatened American cities. The explosion delayed Iran's missile capabilities by several months, but this was only one part of Mossad's multifaceted strategy. The agency launched a series of covert operations, from sabotaging nuclear plants to assassinating key nuclear scientists, crippling Iran's progress. Mossad's tactics weren't just about explosions, they were psychological, creating fear and uncertainty within Iran's nuclear program. As detailed in the Shadow War, Mossad used cyber attacks like Stuxnet, faulty equipment and even viruses introduced into computer systems to slow Iran's nuclear progress by years. These operations sent a clear message: Israel would not stand by while Iran developed the capability to obliterate it. Mossad's success wasn't just based on firepower or cyber warfare, it relied heavily on deception, setting up fake companies to deliver faulty parts to Iran's nuclear facilities, and recruiting double agents from within Iran. Disillusioned scientists, engineers, and military officials became valuable assets, feeding Mossad critical intelligence and even helping facilitate operations from the inside. As Ronan Bergman writes in Rise and Kill First, Mossad operatives carefully cultivated relationships with Iranian insiders, persuading them to work against their own country. These agents became linchpins in the larger network, helping to identify key targets and ensure the success of sabotage missions. From Tehran to Isfahan, Mossad agents infiltrated Iran's most secure facilities, using a combination of high-tech gadgets, human intelligence, and psychological manipulation to undermine Iran's nuclear ambitions. But Mossad's methods in Iran were not limited to cyber attacks and sabotage. When the stakes rose, so did the tactics. It was time for Mossad to send a direct message to Iran's most prized nuclear scientists. No one involved in Iran's nuclear ambitions was safe. What began as a shadow war of sabotage soon escalated into targeted assassinations, precise, cold, and untraceable. Mossad has built a fearsome reputation over the decades, not just for intelligence gathering but for its highly sophisticated and precise methods of assassination and covert operations. While its agents often operate in the shadows, the results of their work echo across the world. These aren't just killings. They are messages sent to the enemies of Israel, letting them know that no one is beyond Mossad's reach. Among Mossad's most lethal methods is the targeted assassination. Between 2010 and 2012 alone, 5 Iranian nuclear scientists were eliminated by Mossad agents. These operations weren't random. Each target was carefully chosen, each death calculated to delay Iran's nuclear ambitions. In January 2012, Dr. Mostafa Ahmadi Roshan, a senior Iranian nuclear scientist, was driving to work when 2 motorcyclists pulled up alongside his car. A bomb was attached, and seconds later, Roshan was dead. The precision of this operation left Iranian officials stunned and fearful, as no one knew who would be next. Mossad's assassinations were designed not only to eliminate key figures, but to instill fear and chaos within Iran's nuclear program, writes Ronan Bergman in Reason and Kill First. The ripple effect of these assassinations was enormous, paralyzing progress and creating a climate of suspicion and distrust among Iran's nuclear scientists. Psychological impact and disinformation. But Mossad's assassinations were not just physical, they were psychological. The agency didn't just remove targets, they created a climate of fear, uncertainty, and paranoia within enemy organizations. Iran's scientists began to work under constant threat, knowing that Mossad could strike at any time. As a result, Iran's nuclear program suffered delays far beyond the immediate loss of personnel. After the assassination of Dr. Majid Shahriari, a lead scientist in Iran's nuclear program, many of his colleagues began working with heightened security and paranoia. Reports suggested that they started avoiding public appearances, isolated themselves, and in some cases even fled the country. Mossad's success wasn't just in killing, it was in breaking the will of Iran's scientific community. As Spies Against Armageddon explains, by striking fear into the hearts of Iran's scientists, Mossad didn't just delay the nuclear program, it threw it into disarray. Beyond assassinations, Mossad has perfected the art of covert operations. From planting agents inside hostile governments to orchestrating daring heists, their operations are legendary. One of their most famous successes occurred in 2018, when Mossad agents infiltrated a secret nuclear warehouse in Tehran and stole over half a ton of documents detailing Iran's nuclear ambitions. The 2018 heist, which retrieved thousands of files from Tehran, was an intelligence coup of immense proportions. Mossad operatives, under cover of darkness, broke into a heavily secured facility, extracted half a ton of documents, and smuggled them out of the country. These files revealed crucial details about Iran's secret nuclear program, providing invaluable intelligence to Israel and its allies. This operation was a clear message to Iran: nothing is beyond Mossad's reach. As Prime Minister Netanyahu famously said during a press conference, Iran lied, and Mossad found out. As documented in the Shadow War, the operation was not just about stealing documents, it was about sending a message to the world that Israel would not allow Iran to develop nuclear weapons unchecked. Technological mastery cyber warfare. Mossad's methods have evolved with the times. Beyond physical operations, the agency has become a leader in cyber warfare. The most famous example is the Stuxnet virus, developed in collaboration with the CIA, which infiltrated Iran's Natanz nuclear facility and caused centrifuges to malfunction. The virus disrupted Iran's uranium enrichment efforts and delayed the program significantly. As Reason and Kill First notes, Stuxnet was one of the most sophisticated cyber weapons ever deployed, a testament to Mossad's adaptability in modern warfare. As Mossad's methods evolved, so too did the tools at their disposal. The agency wasn't just relying on human intelligence and covert missions anymore, it was tapping into cutting-edge technology. From the skies above, drones and satellites scanned the Earth, gathering intelligence and identifying threats with precision. And now, artificial intelligence was taking Mossad's operations to a level of sophistication never before seen in modern espionage. Mossad has always been at the cutting edge of espionage, but in recent years, it has fully embraced the technological revolution. From precision drone strikes to the use of satellite imagery and artificial intelligence, Mossad is redefining covert warfare in the digital age. One of the most significant advancements in Mossad's arsenal has been the integration of drones and satellites. These technologies have allowed Mossad to conduct high-precision strikes and gather critical intelligence from above, without ever putting boots on the ground. In recent years, drones have become an essential tool for Mossad's targeted operations. Whether tracking high-value targets or delivering precision strikes, drones allow Mossad to operate with surgical precision from thousands of miles away. As Gordon Thomas writes in, "The use of drone technology has transformed the way Mossad carries out its missions, allowing the agency to maintain surveillance over vast distances while eliminating threats with lethal efficiency." But it's not just drones. Mossad has also made extensive use of satellite imagery to identify and monitor enemy facilities. These satellites provide critical data, helping Mossad locate hidden nuclear plants, weapon stockpiles, and terrorist training camps. With satellite reconnaissance, no location is truly secret anymore. While drones and satellites have been crucial to Mossad's success, the agency is now looking toward the future, integrating artificial intelligence to take its intelligence gathering and covert operations to the next level. Artificial intelligence allows Mossad to process vast amounts of data in real time. By analyzing everything from surveillance footage to intercepted communications, AI systems can identify patterns that would take human agents weeks to notice. As described in AI is giving Mossad an unprecedented edge, enabling the agency to track potential threats with greater speed and accuracy than ever before. This technological leap is reshaping modern espionage, allowing Mossad to predict attacks, identify sleeper cells, and even hack into enemy systems with a level of precision that was once unimaginable. AI isn't just being used for surveillance, it's also revolutionizing cyber warfare. Mossad is using AI-driven systems to hack into enemy networks, exposing secrets, stealing critical data, and even neutralizing threats before they arise. These cyber operations are fast, silent, and often undetectable until it's too late. In a world where technology evolves rapidly, Mossad's adoption of artificial intelligence ensures that it remains one step ahead of its enemies. From predictive analytics to automated hacking, AI is making Mossad more efficient and effective than ever. As Mossad continues its covert war against Iran, the Islamic Republic has been forced to adapt and fortify its defenses. From bolstering its cyber capabilities to creating robust internal counterintelligence programs, Iran is now focusing its efforts on countering Mossad's deadly reach. One of the most significant threats Mossad poses to Iran is through cyber attacks. The 2010 Stuxnet virus, which severely damaged Iran's nuclear facilities, was a wake-up call. In response, Iran has invested heavily in building its cyber defenses, developing counter-hacking teams to fend off Mossad's digital assaults. As outlined in the Shadow War, Iran's cyber response has become a critical component of its national defense strategy. Tehran has established specialized cyber units within its military, tasked with both defending against foreign cyber attacks and launching their own cyber offensives. These units are particularly focused on protecting the nuclear infrastructure, which remains one of Mossad's primary targets. In 2012, following a wave of cyber attacks linked to Mossad, Iran ramped up its cyber training and significantly improved its ability to detect and neutralize foreign infiltrations. The establishment of elite cyber defense units has allowed Iran to actively monitor its networks and protect sensitive sites, ensuring that they are no longer as vulnerable as they once were. But cyber attacks are only part of the threat Iran faces. Mossad has also relied on human intelligence, recruiting double agents, planting informants, and carrying out high-profile assassinations of key scientists. In response, Iran has ramped up its internal counterintelligence efforts to protect its most valuable assets. After several assassinations of top nuclear scientists by Mossad, Iran began implementing extensive counterintelligence programs aimed at identifying and neutralizing internal threats. These programs have included tighter surveillance of individuals working on sensitive projects, as well as increased protection for high-ranking officials and scientists. According to Mossad, the greatest missions of the Israeli Secret Service, Iranian security forces have made significant strides in counterintelligence, identifying suspected Mossad agents and preventing further infiltration. Iran's leadership has learned that defending against Mossad requires constant vigilance and layered security, particularly in protecting scientists who have been key targets for assassination. Iran has fortified its nuclear facilities with a multi-tiered security approach involving biometric access controls, extensive surveillance systems, and the deployment of counterintelligence teams to monitor any potential signs of espionage. This has made it more difficult for Mossad to penetrate these heavily guarded sites. For decades, Mossad has been a master of the shadow war, adapting, evolving, and remaining one step ahead of its enemies. From its origins rooted in survival, to its cutting-edge use of technology today, Mossad continues to shape the landscape of global intelligence. But as Iran fortifies its defenses and technology levels the playing field, the covert war between these two powers shows no signs of slowing. In this secret battle of wits, tactics, and technology, one thing is certain: the war in the shadows will continue.